Thank you for tuning in to our Class 3A Sectional 27 preview exclusively on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Welcome high school football fans to the Central Indiana Sports Report for our Sectional 27 preview. Coming up, I'll reset the Class 2A sectional brackets after week 1 of the postseason last Friday. And I'll give you the top storylines from the sectional after the opening round. Then Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and I spoke with Jay Stevens of the Kokomo Post, Western first-year head coach Austin Colby, and Frankton first-year head coach Marty Wells about the Frankton-Western matchup. Then Grant, Michelle, and I will reconvene and make our predictions. Please do us a huge favor if you like what we're doing here. Please share this podcast with a football fan in your life and hit that like button. I know it sounds stupid. Nobody ever wants to hit the like button, but it actually does help spread the podcast to a wider audience, and that's something we could really use. And if you love Central Indiana sports, you should probably just go ahead and subscribe. Early Friday morning, we also released our previews of sectionals 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, and 36, and predicted the champion from each one. And on Thursday, Michelle, Grant, and I previewed and made our predictions from all of the games from Central Indiana and the sectional semifinal round. We will be back on Friday with our high school football scoreboard show sometime around midnight with all the scores and highlights from around Central Indiana and the best games across the state. Then part 2 of our scoreboard, the aftermath, conversation with local media and coaches about what happened in the sectional semifinals, will air sometime on Saturday. And the sectional semifinals in Class 3A Sectional 27. On one side, it's Upstart 3-7 Peru at 9th ranked 8-2 Twin Lakes, and it's 18th ranked 7-3 Western at 2-8 Frankton. Twin Lakes and Western, the heavy favorites to come out of each side of those brackets. The last meeting between Peru and Twin Lakes came in 2006, and the two teams have never played in the postseason. Twin Lakes took down defending sectional champion Mechanicsville last week, 36-20. The Indians' last sectional championship came in 2002. Their only losses this year came against Logansport and Hamilton Heights. Peru started the season 1-6, but has won 2 of its last 3, including an 41-14 upset win over conference rival Northwestern after Northwestern had beaten Peru 39-30 earlier in the year. This is Twin Lakes' best season since 2003. That year they started 11-0. This is the 3rd year under Kevin O'Shea. On the other side of the bracket, Western advanced after a big win over West Lafayette, their second win over the Red Devils this season, 20-14, to advance and give them their 7th win of the year and their first year under head coach Austin Colby after going winless last year. Frankton started this year 0-7, but has won 2 of its last 3, including a 59-32 win over Benton Central last week, the Eagles' first postseason win in the last 8 years. It's the first ever meeting between Western and Frankton. Western won sectional championships in 1984 and 2007. Frankton has won 6, 1982, 89, 90, 92, 98, and 2001. Please stay tuned for Jay Stevens of the Kokomo Post, Western head coach Austin Colby, and Frankton head coach Marty Wells before Michelle, Grant, and I return with our season predictions. As we continue our review of Section 27, we bring in Jay Stevens of the Kokomo Post to talk about the Western Panthers to go on the road this week and face a 2-win Frankton. Again, Jay, we talked about it all year. Winless last year, lose your conference champions. Now it's the semifinals.
They are a huge favorite in this round. They beat Houston in that huge turnaround. You can go back to 2023. They had
season. And this team, when they got that losing streak, they got confident, they got hot, and they're rolling. Had some changes on both sides of the ball with personnel. But right now, their defense and with the way that the Colbys are leading this team and what they're preaching every day is energy and effort and tactic and blocking, basically the fundamentals and the very basic level parts of football that help you win games. And I think that this team this year, they're favored to win this game on Friday, and I wouldn't be shocked if they won the sectional title.
They've really got things rolling, and to think that they've done this without McKittrick, but Shoemaker has just blossomed as in that quarterback role for them over the last few games.
Oh man, blossoming. I was there last weekend when they played West Lafayette, and on the sidelines, I'm just sitting there chilling. I'm trying to just be a guy that's like a kind of a fly on the wall, but just standing in the middle of the crowd, trying to get everything the coaches are saying. And one coach joked about Shoemaker potentially getting the school program record for most carries in a game. And I look up, it's like I'm watching the Knox offense. It wasn't the full-on double tight, double wing type of offense, but it was very much shotgun, two fullbacks in the backfield and they're split, receiver to the right side of the field. But it was very much get it to Shoemaker and let him roll. He had 47 of their 64 carries in that game. I don't know if that's a program record.
Has to be.
You would think so. You would think so. But after the game, Austin Colby said we're going to go as far as 2 takes us, and that's Shoemaker's number. And he definitely was comfortable getting the ball over and over and over again, being kind of that bruising type of runner that Western needed that night to win that game.
Western makes them so good is in Colby's system is you just don't get very many offensive opportunities. If you can't cash in, it makes it hard. Would you agree? I think Western's a team you want to jump on top to score first. And if possible, you want to get up 2 scores.
Oh, you have to get up 2 scores with the way that they're playing right now, and even defensively. When you mentioned losing McKittrick, this team is playing in a way where you almost look like they seem like they're comfortable with losing a guy that's a pivotal part of their offense and defense that he was. But this team is just hungry. They're eager, and they got punched in the mouth last week against West Lafayette. West Lafayette kind of was doing some things defensively that Western could take advantage of. Next thing, I believe his last name is Steffi, the running back from West Lafayette. He scores on a 21-yard run, and Western shifts offensively, shifts defensively, and the kids responded very well. And I think getting that success early in the season and then really upsetting Indianapolis Lutheran in week number 3, I think they gave them confidence throughout the rest of the year, and that confidence will be seen Friday and then the following week. I'm assuming they win this week whenever they play in the sectional title.
One thing about this sectional is whoever wins it, man, they're going to break a very long sectional championship drought.
That's right. That's right. Been since 2007 for Western and 2002 for Twin Lakes. Speaking of Twin Lakes, Jay, the Panthers lost to the Indians a couple of weeks ago, 22-15. I bet Coach Colby and the Panthers are looking forward to getting a second opportunity against their conference rivals.
Absolutely. And in that game, I think it was a coach made a comment, a player made a comment about that game and how you go up 15-0, you're up 15-0 at halftime, and then you give up 22 unanswered points in the second half, which is so uncharacteristic of not just the players on this team, but of a Colby-led team that is fully bought in. That's just so odd. And so when that was the outcome the last time that you played them and your best you didn't play your best for the full 4 quarters, I think the Western is looking forward to potentially playing them again and trying not to lose 2 games in a row in the same season to Twin Lakes. That would be a fun game, a very fun game if that happens a week from now.
Well, yeah, 2 great coaching staffs to go with 2 really good teams.
You're correct.
And I think that's what everybody expects. I think everybody at this point is expecting a Western Twin Lakes championship game. Jay Stevens of the Kokomo Post, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
As we continue our preview of Sectional 27, we bring in Western head coach Austin Colby for the first time. And Coach took a team that went winless last year to a conference championship, now 2 wins away from a sectional championship. How were you guys able to get it done?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be able to get into the building in January, which helps a lot with building relationships and building the culture that you want to kind of establish as a first-year head coach. And had a great group of seniors that we were fortunate enough that fit our system pretty well, and offensively kind of came in there and got going in the weight room and got guys bought into what we were selling. And thankfully, they hit the ground running, and we were able to get going in June and July, and had a great summer and great attendance. And when you have good leadership from your senior class, that helps a lot. We've been able to sustain some success there, which is great, and especially after last season. But just doing the little things right and building from the ground up is kind of where you got to start. In high school football, you never know what you're going to get when you're dealing with 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, but we were able to relate with them, and they were hungry for some success. So thankfully we've made some.
I know there was a different coach last year, obviously, first year, and I know they were changed the system a little bit. Did it help to have some kids who'd played under Coach Stewart? Because I think your guys' philosophy is probably more in line with each other than.
No doubt.
And so does that help then when implementing your system?
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't foreign language to him by any means. So Coach Stewart actually met with my dad and I in our basement a while back when he was cutting his teeth as a head coach at Northwestern and Western, and got a lot of his stuff that he did at Western and Northwestern from us. So some of that terminology was the same. A lot of the scheme was the same. A little bit different formation. Obviously, he went out of a single wing shotgun look, but we're kind of under center, more double wing. That definitely helped because those guys grew up in middle school and played in that, and ran it as freshmen and sophomores. The senior class did at least, so they had some familiarity with it, and that definitely helped a lot in terms of coming in and hitting the ground running offensively.
So, Coach, was it the Lutheran game? When did you feel like this team turned the page and then started really putting things together and just getting better every week?
Yeah, for sure. Weeks 2, 3, and 4 when we played Lutheran, Tipton, and then
Hamilton Heights.
Hamilton Heights back-to-back weeks. And Hamilton Heights it was a good football team there, obviously better than a record 4-6 this year, but definitely we scored 40 plus back-to-back weeks against Lutheran and Tipton, and that's kind of when I would say we almost kind of peaked offensively there, and just we're clicking on all cylinders and playing for each other and blocking well and playing well defensively too, playing good complementary football. But we were able to pull out a win against Logansport late in the year, and we've had some injuries and some suspensions that we've had to deal with, but being able to overcome those and continue our success and beat West Lafayette twice is a huge thing for our program. So trying to win in the sectional now is a little new game. They've not had much success at Western in the tournament in recent history. So just trying to keep implementing new things to keep guys thinking and keep them on their toes, and playing good defense and doing the basics of blocking and tackling, because at the end of the day, that's what football comes down to: who blocks and who tackles the best. And if we can do that better than our opponent, then we'll hopefully be playing longer than they have at Western in the past few years.
Tell me about the development of your quarterback, Shoemaker. He's really come on of late for you, especially in the running game.
The first time I met with the Western athletes, the football players in December, right when I got announced as the head coach, he's one of those guys that sticks out. He's 6'4", 230 pounds, and looks like he could go play tight end down for IU, and he's going to go play tight end at the next level, and he's got a couple Division I offers. But it's just kind of getting that mentality and that work ethic out of him. But he played a little bit of quarterback for him at the end of last year, so it's not a foreign position to him, but he definitely had to grow and develop. And, he still made some silly mistakes early in the year, but the last week against when we played him, he had 45 or 47 carries, one or the other, and had over 200 yards. But when the time gets tough and we start seeing good teams in the tournament, he's our guy, and he's the guy that is willing and ready to run the ball. And, he's got a great relationship with the offensive line, and the guys go out and block hard for him. And so we got a good thing going when he's got the ball in his hands. And just super proud of Levi, and he does all the right things. He's a 3-sport athlete, and you're going to go play college football, but just proud of him and the kind of young man he's developed into, and definitely has a lot more football ahead of him for sure.
And like you mentioned, it's been 18 years since Western won a sectional championship. You absolutely know for certain that you're capable of doing it. You went to Twin
Yep.
Lakes 2 weeks ago and played a really good game, so no doubt
Yep.
you can. What's it going to take to win it and not look past Frankton in doing it?
Yeah, for sure. Frankton's won 2 of their last 3 football games. In week 9 when they played Elwood, they were right in that game. And we have all 3 of those films. And luckily, they've played good football in those 3 games. When you see the record 2-8, but at the end of the day, it's a new season when you get into the postseason. And they're 1-0 just like us. When you see them playing good football in film and let our guys know that they're 1-0 just like you are, that's an attention grabber. So we've had a great week of practice and have been extremely focused on each side of the ball. After our Tuesday practice, we still needed to practice Wednesday for sure. We had some mistakes, but we looked a lot better tonight. So just excited about going over to Frankton. It'll be my first time ever playing at Frankton High School or coaching or being involved in a game at Frankton. So looking forward to the challenge that they bring to the table, and hopefully we can come out of there on top.
We continue our preview of the Sectional 27 semifinals with Frankton head coach Marty Wells. And Coach, I know it was a rough season, but you are 1-0 as Frankton's head coach.
Well, we talked to the kids. When you get to tournament time, it's a 1-week season. So at the end of Friday night, you want to be
2 out of 3.
1-0. So we reached that goal. So now we get the pleasure of playing at home, and we'll lay it on the line and see what happens.
Hey, Marty, big win for you, because not only now do you get to play at home, but it was Frankton's first sectional win since 2017.
2017, and I think we've only won 2 since 2006. So it was a big deal, Frankton, I can tell you that.
Well, it should, because you have a lot of young players on your team.
I think we only played 4 seniors Friday night. Our senior class has been decimated by injuries, and we've had a lot of young kids step in, and I hope that's going to bode well for us in the future. But I feel bad for those 3 seniors we've lost for the season. Caleb Shipley, Ethan Stansberry, and Ian Nottingham are all gone for the season, and Anthony Tillery's been gimpy all season long. Kean Schultz has had a knee issue, so 5 of the 9 have had some issues along the way.
Wow. Hey, Marty, tell us, I know you've gotten a chance now to look at Western on film. What team or teams in the CIC do you think has maybe prepared you well for what there's kind of what they like to do offensively and even defensively?
Well, I'd say scheme-wise, the only one that comes close to in the conference would be Elwood. Strength-wise, I'd say they're pretty equal to the Eastbrooks and the Mississaugas of the world. They look awfully big and awfully strong. Quarterback 6'4", 230. And I think their best offensive sets when they put him in a shotgun and just run downhill. We kind of joke, when I was an assistant at Elwood, we played Frankfort for a couple of years, and Coach Colby's dad was the head coach at Frankfort. And the system hasn't changed a whole lot. It's as we like to say in the coaching profession, it's a football in a phone booth.
So I get it's a game where you're going to have to make the most of your offensive possessions, because Western doesn't let their opponents have the ball very often.
I think Twin Lakes took the ball to open the game. That's one of the takes we had. I think they had a 7-8 play drive, but stalled out. And then Western went on a pretty lengthy drive and got some points out of it. West Lafayette, same way. They started with the ball, and got down to about the 20, and then they stalled out, and they never got the ball back in the first quarter. So it's truly a ball control offense. Those big linemen and tight ends line up foot to foot, and they down block and pull people around. And it's within a 8 to 10 yard wide box is all they play in.
On your team, tell us who are some of these young kids that you think have really developed and are no longer playing like freshmen or sophomores right now?
So obviously start with the quarterback, Realm Branham. He's got on a pretty good little roll in the last 3 or 4 weeks. He didn't get much help right now. He's 8 of 20, and I bet we dropped 4 or 5 balls, and then a couple others that might have been on him. But he threw for 144 yards again there tonight, 3 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns the week before, so he's started to put the ball in the places that need to go. He hasn't, as you said, he hasn't turned it over. He has protected the ball. He threw for 1 interception Friday night, but that wasn't on him. Our receiver just absolutely blew an assignment, and they ended up getting a pick 6 out of it. But our running back is a junior in Eli Wax. Our sophomore class is pretty thin, but Finn Crest starts at linebacker for us as a sophomore, and then we've had Tyjae Scott playing corner as a freshman, replacing Ethan Stansbury. And the other night he dressed, but he didn't play, so we put in Tracy Wells, another freshman at corner, and he ended up getting an interception the other night right before the half. And we had another freshman, Wyatt Marsh, took one back about 24, 25, 26 yards, somewhere in there for a pick 6 against Benton Central there. We ended up with 4 interceptions. The 3 of them we took back to the house for pick 6s. We took advantage of opportunities we had the other night, and we never really let them. It was 51-8 at one point, and they're throwing the ball over yard against our JV, and then they're onside kick, and they're calling timeouts. I wasn't a happy camper when I left Oxford, Indiana, or whatever the heck town that is now, but it was just nice to get on the bus and get out of there, and that's all we wanted to do. We're running inside zone the entire second half. It's
Hey, Marty, I know you said 4 seniors played last week, but one senior for you that I think has had a really good, a nice season is Kane Oakley.
He's our leading tackler, has been every week. He's averaging 12 or 13 tackles a game. And we've talked about him before. He was a backup running back to Nate Lazatter. He's some H-back. And actually, when the season started, I didn't see Kane much this spring because he's a baseball player. And this summer, he's playing a lot of travel baseball. We only saw him a handful of times. And honestly, when we started August 4th, I don't think he wasn't there August 4th and August 5th. He wasn't sure if he wanted to play. And he had hurt his knee in travel baseball. And finally, he bit the bullet and said, "Coach, I want to be a part of this." And so about 2 or 3 weeks in, we lose 2 or 3 linemen, and I go to him and say, "Kane, I don't want to ask you this your senior year." He says, "Coach, I'll play." So I didn't get the question out. I was going to ask you if he'd play guard. So we switched him from number 42 to number 66. So he's played about the last 7 weeks, I think, at guard. We finally got a couple of those kids coming back. So the other night, to appease him a little bit in the third quarter, and actually the second quarter, put him in. He had 2 carries for 24 yards and scored a touchdown. So
Nice.
He came off the field. He said, "I'd like to do that some more." And I said, "Well, I'd like for you to be able to too, but we got a block too. So if we can't find 5 guys to play up front, guess what?" And he said, I know. We had a pick 6 Friday night, so he led us in tackles, had a pick 6 for about 20 yards. I think it was might have been our first score. And then he got a rushing touchdown, and he's just all over the field. He's our long snapper. He's our short snapper. He does basically all up for us.
Coach, it's all good experience for a young team at this point, and awfully nice to be at home Friday night.
Didn't realize this at first when we got done Friday night. If we win Friday night, we play at home next week too. So we're guaranteed to host the sectional championship. But it's going to be a tall order, and our kids know that. Western's the highest ranked Sacker rating in our sectional. But on the flip side, they were 0-10 last year too. They're a lot in the same situation we were. And Coach Colby's obviously come in and done a great job. And that offense is, my guess is, it's pretty easy to install, but it's pretty tough to defend. And they've been able to take it off and run with it. No pun intended. And, it's going to be a tall order, but our kids, we've had a good week of practice. Tonight was a little chilly, but they're ready to play. And, if we can limit their possessions and do something with the ball and keep within 1 score, you get down to the end, anything can happen.
Back here, Stage 22 with Grant Shouse of the Action Sports Network and Michelle Garmon of the Tipton Tribune and Elwood Call Leader to talk about Sectional 27 and make our predictions. And it's looking like a Western Twin Lakes Sectional Championship, but let's redo it right now Of course, we made our individual picks this week. All three of us picked Twin Lakes against Western.
I picked Twin Lakes to win the sectional last week. I'm staying with it.
I'm picking Twin Lakes as well. You know, they throw the ball. They're a good team. But I don't anticipate it to be lopsided. I think Western will compete.
And of course, that game would be in Rushville next week. And so give me Western to win that sectional. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks so much to Grant and Michelle for being so giving of their time and joining me for all of the sectional previews. Just a reminder, we also previewed sectionals 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, and 36. Please go check those out. We also previewed and predicted all of Week 11 Central Indiana games, the sectional semifinals. And we'll be back on Friday night with our high school football scoreboard show. Please join us for that one. We look forward to continuing to bring you high school football coverage as the tournament progresses. Please share. Hit that like button on your way out. Thanks. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.